Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to our first presidential town hall right here in the city of Chicago with Sister Vicki Dillard and Dr. Rick Mathis. I want you all to tune in. We have a powerful program for you all today. We're going to be discussing issues. We're going to be discussing topics regarding the black community. And the overall question that we want to answer is, and ask and answer, is what is our agenda that we're going to put before the political parties in the United States of America. So can you please give Sister Vicki Dillard a round of applause? And can you give Dr. Rick Martin also a well round of applause? Rick Mathis, a round of applause.
Thank you.
So we're gonna turn it right over to them, and we're gonna get started.
All rise. Chicago presiding, so pleased to be with you today.
Yes.
Dr. Rick, I'm gonna let you take it over there and gavel us in, y'all.
Wow, we here in Chicago. We right here on the south side. And let's eat to live.
Yes.
And that's important. Right here on the south side, 67th Street. Some amazing food. We had some amazing food, man. The pancakes, the biscuits, peach cobbler. It was all good. You know, I'm from the south, so
Come
I
on
love
down.
peach cobbler.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, can y'all hear me? Y'all hear
Got
me?
you.
Okay, cool. So the first thing we want to do is just kind of give you the history on what, how we came up with the idea and why this is so important. Tomorrow the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is kicking off their thing, right? With the president, the people who are going to be elected for the president. So the thing we wanted to do is we want to put together our agenda. What is the black agenda for us? You know what I'm saying? In exchange for our vote, what are we getting for our vote? So what are we getting for our vote, Sister Vicki?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here to discuss. Or do we need to create our own system and our own charter? Like, do we need to have our own thing? You know what I'm saying? And we want to hear from you and chime in. And we have like 3 points that we're going to cover in that. Number one is vibe with your tribe, meaning find 3, 5, 10, 20 people, like-minded people that you can connect with and grow with. And then number 2, hold each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? Hold each other accountable for what you're going to commit to do. And then number 3, buy land and precious metals. We have one of the largest black-owned precious metals dealers here, Dr. David Wren, and he's going to share with us what real money is. You know what I'm saying? And the importance, this is real money right here.
Come on.
And the importance of that. So we got a great conversation in store for you all. We're excited to be here in Chicago on the south side. Ain't that right, Vicki?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
sir.
So we're going to get into this this conversation, into the dialogue, and, and get started. The first thing we want to do, this was inspired by B1 the movie. So the first thing we want to do is show an episode. This is the first episode of B1 the movie. And B1 the movie is something, it's a documentary that Vicki Dillard is featured in, and a host of other people. David Wren is also featured in there. And we wanted to show the first episode to kind of set the tone. This is about 11 minutes. So we want to set the tone for the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So if we can cue that up, then we'll get started. We also have a curriculum that goes with the documentary, as well as a soundtrack and a movie that goes with, the documentary. So we got a great product, great conversation in store for y'all. So give yourself a round of applause for looking so beautiful.
And before we go to that documentary, to stay in touch and to get more information for the upcoming programs, text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. It's on the screen. Again, text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. 99, so we can stay in touch with you.
Yeah, we can stay in touch, and you're also going to receive this episode right here. So you're going to receive episode 1 from B1 the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So y'all will get that free for participating. I think we got it queued up. We got it queued up, Brother Troy. All right, so this is the first episode right here of B1 the podcast, where we are. I'm going to let it speak for itself. Well, we're talking about what it's going to take for black people to get on code and put black people first.
I'm Dr. George C. Fraser. Did you know that it will take 228 years for black families to amass the same wealth as white families? This striking reality is a fundamental truth we must address, regardless of who the president is. If we don't get on code and put black people first, we will always remain at the bottom of America's agenda forever. Vicki Dillard and Dr. Rick Mathis presents B1, the podcast series, where we bring the voices of black leaders, thinkers, and change makers to the forefront. This is a conversation. What does it mean to be? What does it mean to be? What does it put black first? Being on code, being sensitive to what the group needs to survive and thrive, and putting.
We're gonna reset, people. 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 Make sure that you hear this clearly, because this is very, very important in the time and age that we're in. So we're restarting. This is episode 1 from B1 the podcast. Number 1.
I'm Dr. George C. Fraser. Did you know that it will take 228 years for black families to amass the same wealth as white families? This striking reality is a fundamental truth we must address, regardless of who the president is. If we don't get on code and put black people first, we will always remain at the bottom of America's agenda forever. Vicki Dillard and Dr. Rick Mathis presents B1, the podcast series, where we bring the voices of black leaders, thinkers, and change makers to the forefront. This is a conversation about being on code. What does it mean to be on code and put black first? Being on code means being sensitive to what the group needs to survive and thrive, and putting those needs first and foremost before one's personal needs. It's our birthright to have prosperity, but if we can't get on code, we sentence our unborn seeds to a continued life of servitude. It's time we vote with our dollars and buy the candidate that supports a black agenda. And we must hold their feet to the fire. This podcast is a rally cry for our community to prioritize our people, our progress, and our prosperity. We're all we got, but we're all we need. For years, despite our sacrifices and contributions to build America, we remain at the bottom of most economic categories. It's about righting a wrong that we've endured over 400 years. This 6-part series will explore powerful stories, actionable strategies, and inspiring movements designed to uplift and empower our community. It's more than just a podcast. It's a movement inspired by Be One, the movie, which features a custom curriculum that you can share with your family and friends. Together, we can redefine our future and ensure that we remain at the top of our agenda. Join us on this journey to transform Black empowerment from a dream into a reality. Let's get on code and put Black first, now and forever. It's time to be one. You must become the president of your own household. I'm Dr. George C. Fraser.
What is it going to take for Black people to establish a code of conduct that puts Black people first?
No Chinese person, no Latino, no Arab, no Jew, no white man has ever had to be asked such a question.
The first thing that we have to have is a code, and that code has to be a patronymic code because we are Black. And if we look at the Constitution, that is a patronymic code that we can follow, but not actually use because that's someone else's code of conduct and code of building wealth and prosperity that is able to be passed through heirship for generations and for perpetuity.
But 99% of all the Blacks in the country, whether they got an education from college or not, they don't know what the Constitution is all about. The Constitution was the first affirmative action plan in the United States, and it was written strictly and solely for white folk. That's why in the Constitution, 1 up to 12 is for white people. In those 12 amendments, you'll hear him talking about, he'll be talking about things like using very broad and ambiguous terms so that Black folk can never figure out what the Constitution was about.
If Black people put Black people first, then we will take the planet back. That's the fact.
We have already survived the Middle Passage. We have survived the crack epidemic. We have survived mass incarceration. We have survived all type of experiments. And here we are still standing. Being Black is being resilient. That is the code. It's embedded in our DNA.
Like that's the blood that's in your veins. When you know that, and you know Mansa Musa was the richest person ever. When you understand that and you understand where you come from and you understand that anything is possible, you will understand that abundance is your birthright, right? Stop resisting you're resisting your greatness. Stop resisting your greatness. You're great. And once you understand that and you understand your greatness, right? I am greatness on display.
We are, in some ways, slumbering giants that are waking up to ourselves, waking up to our greatness, waking up to our power, waking up to what we are here to do. But I'm here to tell you that there's more inside of you and that there's something in you that's ready to come out for the world. And when it does, the world will never be the same. You are the answer to someone's prayer.
So this is the rise to wake up to our power. We're not disempowering anybody by being who we are. The whole world needs Black power. And as long as Black power is suffering, then everybody gonna be suffering. They think they're gonna steal from us, rob from us, beat us down, chain us, and they not gonna suffer from that.
You got to push forward for the sake of the ancestors who did it for you, and they couldn't even see what the future could possibly be.
What you got to remember is that when your mother and father gave birth to you, they gave birth to themselves. And when your grandparents gave birth to your mother and father, they gave birth to themselves. And when your great-parents gave birth to your grandparents, they gave birth to themselves.
In order to be born, you needed 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 second great-grandparents, 32 third great-grandparents.
The way you bring it out of yourself is to learn how to remember.
64 fourth great-grandparents, 128, 256, 512, 1,024, 2,048. For you to be born today from 12 previous generations, you needed a total of 4,094 ancestors over the last 400 years.
So you, the individual, is the combination of millions of ancestors, millions of ideas, millions of concepts, millions of thoughts, all embedded in your DNA, in your cell.
Think for a moment. How many struggles, how many battles, how many difficulties, how much sadness, how much happiness, how many love stories, how many expressions of hope for the future did your ancestors have to undergo for you to exist in this present moment?
The way you bring it out of yourself is to learn how to remember. And one of the ways to learn how to remember is to have an ancestral altar where you go and have conversation with that part of you that lived yesterday. Because those ancestors, that was you yesterday. Your children, that is you tomorrow.
This film is dedicated to our ancestors, and a special dedication to my mom, Miss Gwendolyn Lewis, who made a transition during the production of this film. Mom, I love you.
I'm putting black first for you, Mom. Shout out to Jason Black.
A couple here that met on their way down to speed dating last year.
So I just have to say that it's just so good to see so many Black people in one room that's looking for Black love. And I just want to tell you, just to keep the faith.
To put Black people first, we got to give love a chance.
One thing I told Keisha at the B1 ball last year is that destiny doesn't ask permission. So if it's meant to be, it'll happen.
It's going to take Black love at a deeper level. It's going to take long-term, sustainable, invested Black love.
I was looking for love again. I wasn't really sure if I would find it. And I came to the All Black National Convention last year, and I found the love of my life.
Someone asked me about it 6 months ago. Dr. Fraser, what has happened to Black people? I said, I want to say the next thing and still be loved, everybody. But I'll keep it simple. We changed when our music changed. Two generations ago, when we started calling ourselves niggas, bitches, and hoes, we changed.
Okay, y'all clap it up for the B1 documentary, episode 1. That was extremely powerful. To all of my online audience, I need you, and my audience that's present, I need you to text BLK to 1-844-242-2299 so you can get the first episode for free of the B1 documentary, and you also be updated on this panel that's going to go around the country. Before we go back to our guest, we want to make an announcement for our online audience. We see you all in the chat. We see you showing love in the chat. If you be one and you in the chat right now, because we're looking, I'm looking, Dr. Mathis is looking, Sister Vicki is looking. We need you to put your city in the chat right now. I'm looking right now.
Represent your city.
Represent your city in the chat.
Yeah. Represent
I see Vicki Nation. I'm waiting for the cities to get in the chat.
Yes.
B1, where are you? I'm looking for y'all. I see Miami in the chat.
Yes, New York.
And again, the number is text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. Decatur, Georgia, my hometown, Chicago, Houston, Baton Rouge, the mighty BR, Riverdale, Georgia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Toronto, Brooklyn's in the house, New Jersey, B1, Fort Lauderdale, Philly, New Orleans, we see you. We need y'all to share the link. We need y'all to share the link with friends and family because we're about to go in right now live from Chicago. Remember our 3 main points. Vibe with your tribe. Everybody that's in the chat, you are tribe. Everybody that's here, this is our tribe. This is our family. So vibe with your tribe. Hold each other accountable. We can talk about it, but we got to be about it. And the third, but not last but not least, is what all of our great leaders have tried to tell us, and we're repeating what they told us. We need to purchase land and precious metals. And on that note, we have a brother here who is the biggest owner, the biggest black owner of precious metals in the United States of America. And my brother's name is
David Wren.
David Wren. Can y'all give David Wren a round of applause? He's got a 3-minute presentation he's going to share with us.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Sister Vicki.
Just before he starts, first of all, I want to say a big greetings and a big welcome to the family that showed up here, our activists on the ground here in Chicago. You all have set a precedent that is unmatched around the country. Can you all put your hands together for our activists that are here live for this impromptu B1 Talk Black to Me Town Hall in Chicago during what? The DNC, Democratic National Convention. Shout out to our beautiful family who has been giving this city an everlasting work. And how many of you all know how important Black Chicago is in politics and ship-shaping this nation? Watch this and the world, yes?
That's right, that's right.
And as our brother gets ready to come up here right now, I wanted to let you all know, those that are listening to us right now, stay tuned because we have a special announcement for part 2. They ain't ready. We're ship-shaping our own life, and we might be coming to a city near you. This is not about us individually today. We're here to hear from what? The streets today. We're here to hear from you. We're here to acknowledge you. We're here to bow to you. That's why we came. Are y'all hearing me today? So the information that we're sharing today is interrelated from media to our brother talking about metals, yes, to the black-owned restaurant that we're in right now. Are y'all hearing me?
That's right.
Let me hit the gavel. Let me hit the gavel on that. So that's what I wanted to say that really quick. So if you tuned in now, if you have to tune out later, y'all share this link. If you're watching me right now, VickiDillard.tv, share. You all know that I go live now on my own channel. There have been some changes with some of the networks I'm on, but you can still see me on social media on my own now, and also African Diaspora News channel. More information to come. The information that you need to text, family, is very important. Why? Because when we come to your city and when we're planning the next event already for Chicago, y'all know we're just sowing the seed today. We're just sowing the seed today. November 4th, mark your calendars, but the way you get the details is when you text the number that's on your screen now. It says text Black BLK. Text BLK to what? 1-844-242-2299 is on the screen. Go ahead, dear brother. Thank you so much for indulging me to say that quick.
No doubt. That's right.
Before you start, give me 1 second, my brother. To my family that's in the chat, we hear you. We're working on the sound. We're working on it right now. We thank you all for keeping us updated, and we're definitely working on the sound. So we're going to go to my brother.
Yeah, that's your camera right there.
Okay, so welcome. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. My name is David Wren. I am the owner and controller of Prosperity Mint. It's a full-service black precious metals dealership with the largest precious metals dealership in the United States. We're going to be the first black depository in the world. What is a black depository? A black depository is where banks and send their silver, gold, platinum, palladium to store and house with us. We're going to be the Black Fort Knox, and it's going to be out of Arlington, Texas. So Rick asked me to be here. It's a pleasure, and I would just say this before we start. It would be remiss when we talk about what is it to be on code. I will tell you this, the nation has already given us, the Nation of Islam has already given us the blueprint on being on code. And I want to thank the wonderful nation, the minister, and everyone here that represents being black and being on code. If we would just follow the overall emulation of the minister and the nation itself, we would automatically be on code and have the ability for wealth to be transferred back to us. So, Rick, we were talking real quick. Rick, the point you wanted to...
The MB1, the clip that you all just seen, Dr. Claude Anderson talked about the Constitution being the first affirmative action plan for guess who? For white people. The Constitution was not written for us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want David to share about the Constitution as well as precious metals. How many people own precious metals in here? At least a gold coin or a silver coin. If you don't, where's that bag of money, David? If you don't, this is what the dollar is going to right now. It's going to zero. It's going to be shredded. So you got to get you some precious metal, people. But go ahead, David.
So the reason why I want you to think about this. When you think about money, most of us think money is cash, and it's not. If God made it, it's a form of money. If man made it, it's just a currency. So a lot of us don't understand that we're not going to be wealthy in this country because of this. We kill, we die, and we destroy our overall legacy for currency, a piece of paper. And I want you to look up, what is the overall composition of a dollar bill? It's going to be cotton. So this country knows how to keep everybody still picking cotton. Keep you what? Addicted to cash when the real keys to wealth is in God's money. So in the Constitution, it says we the people. And most people think that we the people means citizens. In the Constitution, citizens is not talked about into Article 1, Section 2, where you can be a citizen to be a representative or a senator or a representative for the state or the government. In the preamble, guess who the preamble was for? It's only for 39 families. The original signers of the Constitution, the 39 family members, signed a trust deed and they signed a contract that they would have prosperity and liberty. That was we the people. So if you, as us, as black people, if we're not one of the original 39 signers of the Constitution, guess what? It doesn't apply to you. Yes. So in the Constitution, it says that that all debts must be paid in gold and silver coin only. Gold coin, silver coin. All debts must be paid in gold and silver coin only. Guess what that means? All of the states in the Union have to pay the original signers of the Constitution in gold and silver coin. It's called the U.S. Mint. Now, let me ask you, when's the last time, if you had tax returns or the state owed you something, they sent you gold or silver coin? They never did. You know what they send you? This is what they send you. I want you to pay attention to this. This is important. A wage. I want you to think about what a king and queen is paid, or what a wage is. The wage of every king and queen is silver, because silver is more valuable than gold. The wage of a lady and a gentleman, someone that works for a king and a queen, is gold. And the wage of a slave is debt. Every slave is paid in debt. Look at your cash. It's a debt note because the system and the economy knows that you're a slave to it. That's why we have to have our own Constitution. We don't need the one that was written and signed by the 39 families. We need to write our own Constitution and have prosperity and liberty to be bestowed upon us. And guess what? We can't do it with cash. Cash can only make you rich. When you're rich, you're one economic mistake from going broke. Only money, God's money, can make you wealthy. And when you're wealthy, you can never go broke.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Give it up for David Wren.
Okay, y'all give it up for David Wren.
That's God's money.
Right, and the brother is giving us actual facts about the paper money that we have. And we're going to do, can we do a quick experiment?
Of course.
If to my live audience as well as my online B1 family, pull out $1, $5, any paper bill that you have, pull it out real quick. We're going to do this real quick because I want to bear witness to what my brother just said. I'm going to give you this back. You know it ain't worth nothing, right? He's like, it ain't worth nothing anyway. Just look at the top. We're going to do it real quick. At the top, it says Federal what? Reserve note. Now, what is a note? I'm gonna give you the definition from the dictionary. It is a written promise to pay. You have a car note, you have a house note, that's a written promise that you're gonna pay off that what? No. Debt that my brother just said. So it's right. It's the thing about black people. The truth has been in our face all of our lives, but we never paid attention to it. So we're gonna move right along. We have to. My family that's in the chat, y'all got to keep us up because we thank you all for letting us know about the sound. We've corrected the sound. We want you to represent your family. I saw Memphis. I saw Tennessee. I saw Shreveport. We want to represent the B1 family in the chat. We want y'all to share the link. We want you to stay engaged because we're going to go to questions and answers. And we're getting questions from the online family as well as the family that's present. So please continue to stay engaged. We're going to move right along. For my people that's present, remember the house rules. This is a live broadcast, so we want to respect the house rules with our phones, with recordings, so on and so forth. As we move along, give my brother one real quick round of applause.
Yes, sir.
Now we want to go to our panel discussion. That's going to be Sister Vicki Dillard and Brother Dr. Rick Mathis. We're going to go to our panel discussion. With this part of the program, we're going to kind of move around. We're going to start here, but we're going to jump in and out of the audience and even pull some things from online to add to the discussion that's up here. Then after this discussion, we're going to go to Q&A with you all as well as the online family, all right? So we're going to start here with Sister Vicki Dillard and Dr. Rick Mathis, and we're going to start with these questions.
Cool. Go ahead, Vicki. So the thing that we want to do is action items. We want to provide practical action items, practical steps that you can actually apply. And we want to hear from you in terms of what you suggest that we poll in. So some of the things that we came up with is to develop social media guidelines, create and share a set of guidelines and responsibility for positive social media use. As you all know, when we're on social media, there's a lot of crazy stuff on, there's a lot of misinformation, but how can we hold each other accountable and use social media as a tool? Like my sister here, Vicki Dillard, does, where she be giving you that, giving her that word.
Everlasting word. That's right. That's right.
So those are some of the things. Social media, we want to foster conversations. We want to organize regular family and community discussions on where we can speak openly about challenges and advice without judgment. Because it's important that we don't judge each other, you know what I'm saying? That we have these conversations in love. Because as they said in the film, we all we got. But guess what?
We're all
we need.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right.
So these are some of the things. So Vicki, how are you using social media? Like, what are some things you feel that we can do to show love but still correct each other?
Well, one of the things that I want us to keep in mind is that we're working outside of the establishment, that we're working outside of the system. Now, you all know I'm not coming here to do a speech, right? This is about you. This is an interactive B1 town hall that we did at the spur of the moment, and here you are. We're sowing the seed, and we're looking forward to going back. So mark your calendars, coming back November 4th, yes? So that's why we want you to text the information, because we want not only those here in Chicago in the room, we want others to also attend, in our audience that's listening, and also our audience to know that we might be coming to a city near you. So that's the reason why we're emphasizing that number, because this is a seed, yes? Now, that is what I believe is important. It's not that we're trying to just grow online. I want us to understand that we utilize it as a form of advertising. I'm going to say this. There's nothing that's too simplistic that won't be able to make a difference. What do I mean by that? How did I ended up doing what I'm doing now in terms of using my voice, notwithstanding me having to overcome medical stuff, overcoming an unjust criminal case, trial, prison, appeal, more attacks than I can name right now. Y'all listening to me? There were supernatural things that took place in my life as a young girl. True encounters. That shaped and sowed the seed for me today. In addition to that, can I tell you what Mother Dillard did? My mother, when I was in elementary school, Dr. Rick, she said to me when I was writing my movie as a young child, I was writing a movie called Off Drugs, and she worked for the city at the time, and she would bring me leftover paper. How many of y'all remember that old school computer paper that was green and white with the perforated edges? Y'all know about that, do you?
We call that cornbread paper.
Is that right? She would bring me the leftover paper from work so that I could write my movie. So when I told her I was going to write my movie as an elementary child, I need y'all to watch this. She said, I think you should write the mayor and tell him about your movie. Y'all ain't listening. I wrote the mayor at the time in Mississippi. His name was Jimmy Kemp. He wrote me back congratulating me on my upcoming movie.
Wow.
I've been in 3 documentaries, including
B1.
What?
B1.
I'm sitting next to a very successful black filmmaker. How many of y'all put your hands together for that?
Thank you.
In addition to my brother Tariq Nasheed, I was privileged to be in one of his documentary films. I got an upcoming film that's coming out now about Dr. Clara Anderson. Y'all stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're following me at VickiDillard.tv and go into my website at VickiPlanet.com. Get on my email list so that you are always connected. Watch this. Am I good with the sound? Okay. This is important. Why am I bringing this up? Because my mother made me feel as a elementary school age child that my ideals were worthy of government.
Wow.
Y'all missed that.
Y'all missed that. Y'all got to clap for that.
She sowed a seed in me and made me feel that my idea, which was going to impact my community, that's what the movie was about, she felt that it was worthy of the local government knowing about it.
Wow.
So when he responded back to me, are y'all hearing me? I didn't think it's strange. So when people say to me, Vicki, why weren't you afraid when the feds were coming? Why weren't you afraid when you were dealing with Wall Street agents? What are you talking about? Mother Dillard made me to know this was normal.
It was planted. It was a seed that was planted in you.
So I want you all to understand that there's nobody here that should be saying that because you're not up on the podium at the DNC.
Right.
You shouldn't be sitting here telling me that because you're not Mayor Brandon. Thank God you ain't Mayor Brandon around this piece. Where my activists on the ground? How many of y'all know my brother, my sister sitting over there, right there at that table? They've been going viral. I've been talking about, y'all put your hands together.
Show them some love, baby. Show them some love.
They're so powerful that your mayor here tried to change the rules for them to attend the political meetings. Am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth? Did he have to rescind that because a government watch agency told him, watch this, told him that they might be in violation of the law? They tried to make, y'all were showing up so strong that they tried to make sure that you had to show government ID. Am I telling the truth? They wanted you to sign up before you attended the meetings. That's how strong and powerful you are when you engage locally. And a government watchdog agency had to tell him that he might have been in violation, so that they had to rescind that. Yes? These folks here, the action that you all are taking has everything to do with why, brother Dr. Rick, that some of the illegal immigrants didn't take over one of the parks here and one of the buildings. Am I telling the truth?
That's right.
So when they tell us, oh, we're not politically engaged, no, baby, you just don't like how we're engaged. Didn't the DNC consider for a minute going digital for this event that they're doing here? Why? It has to do with y'all.
That's right.
And now they're talking about what? The Palestinians coming out doing what? Protesting, and all of that's important, all that's good. But I'm saying don't forget that it was Black Chicago, it was a Black grassroots here that started to shape the foundation. I just want the world to know, wherever you're listening to me now, that you have the potential to look at this blueprint and make a difference. I'm done now. Brother Rick, Dr. Rick, Dr. Rick.
That's right. So that's what this is about, people. This is about putting together our black agenda. Because guess what? We got the power. When I say who's got the power,
we've got the power.
We've got the power. Who's got that power?
We've got the power.
Who's got that power?
We've got the power.
That's right. I shake to my brother Baba Bay, who used to say that all the time in Atlanta, Georgia. Who's got the power? We've got the power. And we got to possess it.
Yes, sir.
We got to possess it. So that's why we're here the day before the Democratic National Convention, because we need our voice to be heard.
Absolutely. Yes.
We know what they're trying to feed with Trump and Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
The Republican, the Democrat. Which one has a black agenda, like I said in the video, where we're going to hold their feet to the fire?
That's right.
That's going to reward us for our 400 years that we've built America. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't been paid for it. You know what I'm saying? We're still at the bottom of the economic categories.
Yes.
So that's what this is about. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your voice.
Yes.
What should be on that black agenda? And then we want to come up with one thing that we can all get behind and then present that. You know what I'm saying? If they don't accept it, so what? We still need to buy gold, buy precious metals, buy land. Like the land that's in Dawson, Georgia here, that I'm thinking I'm in Atlanta, that's in Dawson, Georgia, you know what I'm saying, that you all own.
Come on.
That the Muslim community owns.
Yes.
And grow their food, which I just saw the watermelon truck right over at the mosque today. Beautiful. And I was like, man, I feel like I'm home in Atlanta.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? They got watermelons on the back of a truck. That's what we do down there. Y'all got slices of watermelon floating through here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to do, people. Yes. That's what we got to do. So one of the questions that we have is, we're going to bounce back to our good brother here.
Abdul.
Is, well, the question was, what can we do to start? Let me read this question right, properly pull it up here. That question
While my
is,
brother's pulling that up, I just want to re-engage our people that's in the online chat. We see you, we love you. Thanks for keeping us updated on the sound.
Yes.
But with this particular question, we're going to the audience that's here, but I'm also going to read some comments from the online family.
That's right.
Go ahead, my brother.
So the question is, how can we pool our resources within the community to acquire land and invest in precious metals collectively? That's the question. How can we pool our resources within the community and acquire land and invest in precious metals collectively? Meaning, 5 people, 10 people, 20 people, vibe with your tribe again and invest in land, invest in precious metals. Start a farm, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that we have to do, because those are the things that are going to sustain us.
Yes.
So we'll take the first.
We'll start right here in the live audience, and then I'll let my B1 family put their comments in the chat. We'll read a few of those. Is there anybody here in the live audience that would like to answer that question? How can we invest in land as a group and also invest in precious metals? Anybody here want to jump in on that question? Sister, can you state your name?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Sister Erica 3X out of Chicago. And I would like to say that I am a part of a collective here after Farms. And we've bought land in Georgia. We've bought land in Arkansas. We've bought land all over the United States at this point. Awesome. And so if you would like to connect with some like-minded people, to get you some land so we can start growing and feeding ourselves, please reach out to Brother Farrakhan Muhammad at Hereafter Farms. Myself, I'm not bragging, but I just want to let you know that me and my 5 children and my 5 grandchildren all own a piece of land.
Wow.
So this is what we're doing. We're following the instructions that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us. He said, join on to some like-minded people and get you some land. So as far as precious metals, every time I get paid, I invest in silver. And brother, I'm gonna be looking at you next.
And we got our brother right in the building, so don't let him get away without you connecting with him so you can invest in precious metal. All the Muslims you already know because you read this in Message to the Black Man. You've heard Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say this to us over the years, so we already know. My sister Erica, is it 3X? Sister Erica 3X, Hereafter Farms, our brother Farrakhan Muhammad. You can find him on Facebook. They have farms that they're purchasing all over the country. Anybody else? How can we invest? Now, black people love eating, but everything that we eat comes from the land. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So we need to own what we eat. Anyone else? How can we invest in precious metals and own land? We have Hereafter Farms. I'll read a couple of comments from the chat. Brother Dick Johnson, we all have a black shadow. God is our black shadow. Hoping y'all pray. Thank you, my brother. Make sure, this is Sister Letitia Nicole, make sure the land that we purchase has mining rights and we have the rights to it. That's a great comment.
Yes.
Marlon Lee, Buy Gold and Silver Hard Asset Alliance. I'm assuming that's the name of the group, the Hard Asset Alliance. You can buy coins as small as 10 ounces, 25 ounces, 50 ounces, or 1 ounce. Thank you, Brother Marlon Lee with the Hard Asset Alliance.
Awesome.
Anyone else from our live audience want to go at that question? Please introduce yourself.
Brother Ronald Muhammad. I was Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, in your buying precious metals, what would be the most value for your dollar? Would it be buying bullion versus coin, or if you really get it like that, bars there? So that's something that should be considered. Also, in the purchase, there's a premium generally with the middleman. So is there a set range on that premium, or is it up to that particular entity that you're dealing with?
Okay, you can take that mic. And this is a mic that, this is a question that they're asking David Wren about precious metals.
So, sir, I want to thank you for your question. It's a very educated question, and I'm not surprised coming from the nation because the minister has done so well in prepping our people. So the question you asked about the premium, let me tell you how the premiums work. There is never a discount on money because you're getting the raw commodity. There's something called the spot price and then the overall physical price. The spot price is based off of the price of precious metals that's being sold as a commodity on the exchange, the CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, with the CME. So that's paper, silver, and gold. That's fake gold. That's fake silver. No person should be buying contracts. What you should be doing is acquiring the raw asset of silver, gold, platinum, platinum, the actual commodity. Yes. So the best one for profitability, and this is the most important thing, is silver, not gold. They promote gold because gold is the Muhammad Ali and the iPhone of the precious metals. Everyone has heard of it. But silver is 10 times more valuable than gold because it's the only one that can save your life. And what they do is this, is that they want you to acquire something that doesn't give you control. A silver king and a gold king. If you're a silver king, you're going to destroy a gold king. Because you can control the economy with gold, with silver, because it's more industrial and important. You can't make nukes without silver. So you want to heard that?
Yeah,
Say that again one more time, David. The reason why the United States as an institution has become one of the most powerful empires and wealthy empires, because the United States is, as an institution, is wealthy. Its citizens are broke. It's a big difference. The United States became wealthy not because of gold, because of silver. What happened was the Nazis taught them how to make a nuclear weapon. They were trying to do it with copper. The Nazis came in under Operation Paperclip and told them, hey, dummies, you should be using silver.
Not ready for that.
And guess what happened? They were able to make a nuclear weapon and pump the rest of the world into their economy. That's where a silver king always beats a gold king. So you should start with gold, with silver, and you can buy that with us at Prosperity Mix, www.prosperitymix.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Family, we're going to move on to the next question. But I want to say this really quick. If you're wondering why this is important, family, this is showing you that we have power beyond the vote.
That's right.
Are y'all listening? They want us to believe that everything, the only contribution that black folks have is just the vote. I want us to see, blessings, family. I want us to understand we have authority, we have power beyond the vote. Are y'all hearing me today? So everything we're discussing is important. Go ahead, dear brother Abdul.
Testing 1, 2. I just wanted to mention a sister, she had to leave, but she shared in a lot of the major cities that my B1 family is in. They're selling lots in your neighborhood right now for $1.
Come on.
Wow. So it's time for us to get on code. We got to get on code. All the little shorties with their pants sagging, we can get them on code if we control our community. There are lots in your community. I saw Baltimore about a month ago is selling lots for $1 right in the neighborhood. So when you see that, we have to do the research in order to purchase those $1 lots, because land, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, is the basis of all freedom, and we have the ability to be free right now no matter who's in the White House. I saw another sister made a comment about Asians, and I'll say this quick. The Korean community that owns all the beauty supplies, they do a thing called a kai, where an immigrant Korean comes in and 10 businessmen give that immigrant $1,000 each. The immigrant takes the $10,000 cash, opens up a beauty supply, you know where, a nail shop, you know where,
right,
a spa, you know where,
right,
in our community, and then they pay the business owners back one at a time. There's nothing stopping us from doing the exact same thing that the other immigrants are doing. It's allowing them to get ahead. So this is the economic program that the entire B1 family, not just the nation, not just the Muslims, not just other groups, all of the B1 family needs to be on this program. You don't have to do it with me. You don't have to do it with Sister Erica 3X, but you have to do it, all right? It's bigger than politics. We're here in Chicago because the DNC is here, and as Sister Vicki said, they want you to focus on one thing, voting, but they don't want you to focus on economics, and we already know which one is more important. So, what is our next question, my brother?
Yeah, so our next question is, how can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings, both individually and as a community? And I'll read that again. How can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings, both individually and as a community?
Just let me jump in real quick. To my online family, we thank you for your comments. We don't know if the feed is being interfered with or not. We don't know that. But what we do know is that the conversation we're having is the most important conversation that we can have. And we're working through the static. We want y'all to be patient, still share the link. We don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but at the end of the day, we got to be a family. We want y'all to share the link. We're going to keep moving. Can you repeat that question?
And we're going to repost this. So I know how to fix all audio with AI. So whatever it is, we're going to fix it, and we'll repost the video at Vicki Dillard. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it, family. Y'all will hear this because this is a very important conversation, and you will hear it with good audio. So that question again is, how can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings, both individually and as a community? Our shortcomings, how do we address them? Do we have somebody that want to chime in real quick on that question? Because this again is holding each other accountable. Because again, and I can't say it enough. See all we got, but we all we need. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to us to unify at whatever levels we can unify. You know what I'm saying? And get in the same boat. We might not all be on the same page. Matter of fact, no ethnicity is all on the same page. So you can throw that out the window. You know what I'm saying? White folks on the same page. No, they not. I see them fussing. Look at Trump. Look at Biden. Look at, you know what I'm saying? All that foolishness is going on here. So let's all get in the same book and then work to get in the same chapter and then get on the same page. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is about. How can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings? Take to you, brother.
Anybody in the live audience? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Sister Doris. I think we can do that. First of all, to be on code, you gotta be black. That's right. You gotta act black, and you gotta do that. And we're gonna have to go back to old school. When there's a disagreement in the community, in the family, we come together and we talk about it. We gotta listen to one another. We gotta respect one another. We gotta understand one another's pain. And that's not what we're doing. We're not listening to one another. We're at each other. We've got to stop this nonsense. And we've got to replace each other. Our problem is not because we're all in this together. We're all under the system of racism and white supremacy. So we have got to reach out and stop each other fussing and fighting. We got to teach our children we're doing safe things around and they're passing it on from one generation. So we've got to love each other together. We've got to talk. We've got to learn to go back to talking to one another. We're not doing that. We'll talk to everybody. We talk to the white man, we talk to the Asian, we're talking to this one and that one, but we're not talking and listening, feeling one another and embracing one. We're all suffering. We're all catching hell. And when we understand that we're all catching hell, I don't care what kind of education you have or what money. So when we come back together as a family, which we used to be, we will begin to help you solve your problem, and I can solve mine.
Amen. Give a round of applause.
So what my sister is saying is that we need some black on black love in our community. That's what we need in the community, is black on black love. Does anybody else want to answer or talk about that particular question?
I'll repeat the question again. The question is, how can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings, both individually and as a community? How do we address our shortcomings in love? It's all about.
And we all got short. Every last one of us. Now, y'all know this is a special person. Let's put on.
Oh yeah.
It's a special person. This facility.
Right.
I'm a business owner. And one of the problems is that whenever we have problems with the business, I'll bring it to everybody else. And so this is why we don't have black business in the community. If there's something wrong, talk to the person. If you have an issue, come to the owner, come to the employee, and express your I go out and I hear it like, wow, where's the love? Where's the love? Where's the love? Where's the love? You know, that's how we are. That's how we are. We've been taught to hate each other, hate ourselves, hate ourselves. That's it. That was Black this is hers. That's right. That's why it's important to own. Because this is like having a black family doing a black take a dinner table. Remember when the table dinner table, and that's what we would discuss our issue and welcome and we would check in with each other. That's what this is about. Showing that love. You know what I'm saying? And being proud to be black. You know what I'm saying? What are the issues that I see? Black folks don't like being black. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They'll like being black. And I'm proud of my black. You know what I'm saying? When I walk in the door, no matter where I go, they gon' see my black. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta put that on there. You know what I'm saying? Because they gon' put it. They gon' say that black guy that can't hang on with the hat on the bow tie and the bow tie. They gon' put that black first. So I gotta put black and be proud of it. And guess the universe is gonna embrace me for doing it. So that's what I tell y'all. Listening, internet, y'all be afraid, but to blackness first. I know we've been through it. I know they say the worst category, but guess what? When you look around, everything, these people, you know what I'm saying? It came from us, so we need to be proud of it and be proud of our blackness. Okay. Self-improvement. The basis for community development. Multums for everybody, black or brown, red or yellow, it's our nature, by nature. It's your nature. You hold it. But yeah. So there's seven devils and seven impediments that we have. That's what our beloved sister just spoke exactly about. There's seven impediments. There's seven devils that we as a people bother. I mean, we do to ourselves. That's why self-improvement. The seven devils are lust, anger, greed, but envy, all these things, guys, and feel like ourselves, petty things. We got to work on ourselves, come together, and then allow our God to start time. We finally went, and they do it allow us. That's a time.
Thank you, Sister Gail. Y'all give me Sister Gail a hand. And family, I'm asking you all to come back here for the camera. We want to get y'all on camera.
Can we have another comment? Okay. Yes. My name is Carolyn Ruff, and our organization is Black Lives Matter Women of Faith. All right. All power to the people. Yeah, my thing is, and it's a big thing, that we need to start supporting Black-owned businesses. The thing is with us, we don't support each other as businesses. We don't. We much rather go to the Arabs. We much rather go to the Koreans. We much rather go to the white people or whomever and support them. But we have to unify. We have to start supporting each other. That's the only way we're going to make a difference in our community. Then you got to teach our children to support each other. Buy black. Boycott is the most important thing. We got to boycott all these white businesses that disrespect us. And then again, when we are in business, we have to learn how to respect each other. Because
most important thing, I think.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's, real quick, before we go to anyone else, again, if you want the first episode of the B1 documentary, text the letters BLK to the number 1-844-242-2299. Again, text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. It is on the screen. I want to thank all of our family that's in the chat. We're working on the sound. Please keep us updated. We're working on it as we speak. Did you have a comment, my sister?
Hello, my name is Jessica Jackson, and I wanted to comment that the way to keep going and to hold each other accountable is to remember that you love your people.
Come on.
See, I'm down to City Hall a lot. Just like some other faces in the room. And the thing that has kept me going, even when they do things like lock us out for meetings, make us stand in the hallway for 40 minutes before we get in, walk around while we talking at public comment time, disrespecting us, all of that. What makes us keep going is because we love our people.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't do enough to make me not love my people.
Come on now.
I got to keep talking for my people. Now, there are some topics that come up down there that have absolutely nothing to do with me.
Yes, ma'am.
But it have to do with my people.
Come on.
And I thank God that he's given me the tools, he's given me the support system, and he's given me the time and the help to keep fighting for my people.
Come on now.
And one thing that City Hall knows about me and Doris, Sister Erica, Jackie,
Come on.
Zoe,
Come on.
George Blackmore,
Come on now.
Michael Young,
Come on, y'all.
is that we're going to keep coming.
We're going to keep coming.
We're going to keep coming. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do.
Come on now.
We're going to keep.
Y'all put your hands together.
I just saw Mayor Brandon Johnson Tuesday at that PBC meeting. And that's a
I'm not running with no black and brown coalition. Brown getting the money, and black ain't getting nothing but the black being used.
keep working. I don't care what it look like. I don't care who get in office. We black out here. And it's black first.
Have it again. P1, baby.
Come on now. That's my
P1.
Woo!
Right.
Got to hit the gavel on that one right there.
That's what I'm talking about.
So now,
Yeah.
I'm going back to what I said earlier. We need black on black love.
Black on black.
And I'm going to say this. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us that love is an action word.
Yes.
If you love and there's no action, then you don't love. All the words, and it's time out for black politicians that don't support black people.
That's right.
It's time out for that. Our community, our people are tired. If you love us, then prove it by your actions, because at this point, your words mean nothing.
That's right. Come on,
so
y'all.
now I'm going to go to my brother.
Beautiful.
So what we got to do is remain a family.
That's powerful.
And not let the enemy come between us to divide us. So these sisters have, as my sister would say, you've seen it viral many times.
Yeah.
They've been giving the mayor and the city council, get your gavel ready, Sister Vicki.
All right, yes,
they've been giving them that everlasting work.
Come on now.
That's what they deserve.
Come on now. I bow to my sister. I bow to y'all.
That's right.
So now, and every black politician that does not have black people's best interests at heart,
come on,
they
Brother
deserve the everlasting work.
Come on, Brother Abdul.
Brother, can you restate the question?
Yes, sir, I can.
Real quick.
Man, so
powerful. Is that powerful?
Y'all made me lose the question, boy. But look, Dr. Cloud Anderson, who was in the B1 movie, says this: we're all born on a team. We can't be traded from that team. We can't quit that team.
Come on.
But if we don't play for the team we born on, the team loses by default.
Come on.
That's
by
real.
We
default.
lose by
Powerful.
default if
Powerful.
we don't play for the team we born on. So play for the team you're born on, people.
Come
Yes, sir.
That's what time it is.
Yes,
Stop
sir.
switching up. The question is, how can we support each other in acknowledging and addressing our shortcomings, both individually and as a community?
And my brother Enoch is going to answer that question. I got to say this, I've been knowing this brother for over 20 years, and we have worked together in the schools in Chicago in the worst of the worst, Cooley High on steroids.
Come on.
We've been in all of them.
Come on.
And have been doing the work with young people. The same young people that they talk about, that they say there's no hope for, that's a lie. Because Brother Enoch and I have gone in those schools and given those children black on black love in the school and transformed the school for the betterment of those children. Brother Enoch is going to answer that question.
Yes, sir.
When I say hip hop, you say detox. Hip hop.
Detox.
Hip hop.
Detox.
Hip hop.
Detox.
Hip hop.
Detox.
Hippity 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 hop. Go.
Detox.
Okay, give yourselves a hand first of all.
Yeah.
I wanted to start off like that to take us into what Brother said at the end of your documentary, Brother Frazier, Mathis.
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Frazier is the one who said it.
Yes.
I didn't want to forget his name.
Yeah, Dr. George Frazier.
Dr. George Frazier, at the end of your documentary, at the end of that clip, he made a statement about what has transpired over the last 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened to black people?
And he said the music has changed.
That's right.
Now, Lick It Like a Lollipop was the #1 song when Sean Bell was shot and killed. I think he was shot like, what, 50 times? He had went to his a bachelor party or something. The police shot him 50 times. However, 30 years prior, or 20-some years in 1992, when, what's our brother's name who got beat, Rodney King? The #1 song before the riot was Fight the Power. So when it comes to hip hop, we went from Fight the Power to Lick It Like a Lollipop in a span of just a decade or so. When we look at whether it's politics or economy or whatever we want to look at, let's look at the history and the psychology to understand what steps we have to take, because the question is asking how. How means process. What is the process by which we do a thing? Now, we just did a call and response, which is just part of our tradition as a people. When it comes to spirituality, when it comes to our natural rhythm. Well, some of us seen the movie Star Wars, right? After the movie Star Wars, the second part was called Empire Strikes Back. Well, we had some people called it a love fest in 1995 called the Million Man March. However, the action that took place from 1996 going all the way to 2016 or 2015, homicide rate went down in every city around the country, right? Even when the shock of the hour came on 9/11 of 2001, when the Twin Towers got hit, homicides amongst black people still went down. However, the music began to constantly change. Entertainment continuously changed. A lot of things changed where we began to see an increase in everything negative. And it began to proliferate all around the world. So when brother made that point, we have to detox what we call culture. Our brother Kendrick Lamar made a point in the Heart 5 song. He said, when you got a brother doing wrong to another brother or a sister doing something wrong to a sister, why is it that we say we keeping it real for the culture? Stop calling it culture. That's not culture. That's the exact opposite of what culture is.
Wow.
Because when we talk about culture, we're talking about that which civilized, that which helps, that which teach, instruct, it heals. But if it doesn't heal, it's giving you the opposite of what culture is.
Wow.
So the first part starts with, well, how do we begin? In 1995, when over 1.2 million, they said the minimum stood for 14 hours in Washington, D.C., there was a pledge that had an action agenda, the code of conduct. The first part said, today is a new day and a chance for a fresh start. Today, I will improve myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, economically, physically, for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people.
My.
And my who? My people. Everything that was done since then, politically, economically, socially, spiritually, has been against that whole pledge, against that whole concept of action.
Wow.
So from a hip-hop perspective, when we say hip-hop, we're not talking about what the industries did and hijacking hip-hop. We say hip-hop is truth without boundary. Truth without what?
Boundary.
Truth without what?
Boundary.
And the detox is to remove the poison. Remove the what?
Poison.
So at the root of all poisons are lies, half-truths, and myths. What Brother Frazier said, it will be controversial, but it needs to be controversial to go against the version that our children has received. We have children for the last 10, 15 years in Chicago that have been under a form of what they call hip-hop called drill. In Atlanta, it's called trap. But whatever is called, the goal is to make it where what we call culture becomes the norm, where you got guys on the street that say we shoot and kill and we don't care who on the block. We kill bitches and babies. That's what we do. That was said at a Father Flager rally over 10 plus years ago. And so we see this not just in Chicago, we see it in Baltimore. I didn't say Baltimore, Baltimore. We see it in Atlanta, we see it in Houston, we see it in St. Louis, we see it in Shreveport, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, New Orleans or Nolens. So the question becomes, what into it is Brother Steve, where we say to everybody, I don't care if you family, I don't care if you Clear Channel, I don't care if you Columbia Records or Sony, we have to say, you know what? You all do not advertise the murder and the annihilation of the mind, spirit, and soul of a people. You don't do anybody like that, us. We have to declare you can't make money off us or through us if you continue on that path, and we have to be willing to shut it down completely. Last action step, everybody that goes to the meetings of city council, they passed a Black History bill in the state of Illinois, and they are supposed to teach children Black history in Chicago in the state of Illinois. Do they do it?
No, sir.
They don't do it. They're supposed, that's what they teach. They're supposed to teach, they passed a proclamation in the city of Chicago, and the proclamation said that as of 1996, every October 16th, no school, no work, no play, we will support all of the initiatives of what's called the Holy Day of Atonement, Reconciliation, and Responsibility, where the first thing you do in that process is point out the wrong in yourself first, and the second step is to acknowledge it so you can confess it and repent and do the work necessary to heal the wounds.
Wow.
They do not support it because we have not put it forward to them to enforce it. When we go to City Hall, those are two action steps that need to be taken. Enforce the Black History Bill and enforce action on the Holy Day of Atonement so that people will not be penalized for taking off work or not going to school on October 16th.
All
two
right
action
now.
steps.
Okay, thank you, Brother Enoch.
Beautiful.
And Brother Enoch's point transitions us to the next part of our conversation, because what we have to do is we have to have a conversation about what we want as Black people.
Yes.
What do we want for our families? What do we want for our children? What do we want for our communities? What are we going to do? As Sister Gail said, how are we going to improve ourselves? But at the same time, what tangible resources are we going to demand that the government put in our communities? And brothers and sisters, we're not begging,
right?
Because it's our tax dollars.
That's right.
When you send your children to the public food system to be miseducated, and then you make a demand for a Black history class.
Come on, sir.
That's your tax dollars
Your
you're paying
tax
for.
dollars.
They have no problem teaching your children. Sister Robin, right? Erica, my bad, just handed me this. They have no problem teaching your children an alternative lifestyle.
Right.
But your children, now I've been in education for 29 years, so don't get it twisted. The reason they hate me is because I taught our children Black history.
Come on.
So now they will teach them that, but will not give them Black history and the things that our children need. Brother Enoch started us. He's here with Hip Hop Detox. He started our conversation. We want the online family. We love y'all so much.
Yes.
Every time the static comes, you let us know. We work on it. We appreciate you. We want to take a minute to shout out everybody, all the B1 family online.
Yes.
Real quick, because y'all supporting us through the whole broadcast.
That's right.
Put your city in the chat.
Yes.
We put your name in the chat.
Yes.
Because we want to shout y'all out real quick before
And
we
also,
start
and
talking
also,
about
excuse me,
Black
brother.
history.
Also, don't forget, family. Our media team. They said they're going to use AI to clean up the sound later. So we're going to do a replay, so we won't have these interruptions. So don't lose hope.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned to VickiDillard.tv. We're going to do a replay. Our dear brother, Dr. Rick, and our dear brother Warren. They're gonna take care of the sound, so the sound will be clear for the replay. Okay. So we're gonna make sure this whole thing is replayed with no interference with the sound. And by the way, let's give Brother Warren a big hand clap.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one that helped to put this together.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Everybody put your hands together for our brother Warren right here. Yes, family.
That's right.
And before I call out these cities, I got to show love to this sister. She's been on it from the beginning. Sister, and if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Sister Shalina
Williams. Yeah, and y'all everybody put your hands together for Shalina Williams.
She's been
Just
on point
trust
from
me.
the very beginning.
Yes.
Las Vegas, I'm calling out the cities before we go to this next part of the conversation. We got Las Vegas. We got Philly, B1 family. We got Oakland City, Oklahoma.
Come on now.
Huntsville, Alabama. We got Miami. We got Huntersville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't want to mispronounce the city in Alabama. Alabama. I might have chopped that up. Atlanta, my hometown.
Yeah.
We got St. Paul, Minnesota. We got New Orleans, Louisiana. We got South Side of Chicago.
Come on.
We got Riverdale, California.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have people coming out of Georgia, Charlotte, North Carolina, El Paso, Texas. Somebody's in Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah.
So we all over the world. We all over the country. We got people in Clarksville, Tennessee, and Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
Clap it up for the online family. They've been supporting us, showing us love, keeping us up on the sound. And brothers and sisters, right here, we want to, what actions? Because love is not a word. Love is not feelings. Love is an action word. They say God is love.
Yes.
This we heard about it. We learned about it, but God never called you on the phone and said he loved you. The way you knew that God's love was present in your life is the actions that God did on your behalf. Actions that we talked in the video about the ancestors. Yeah. Actions before you were even born that he did for you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to come and make no oxygen. It was here when you got here. The food was here. The milk was in the breast. The water was there. Everything that you needed to sustain your life with no words.
With no words.
All action.
Beautiful.
Yes.
God's presence and his love is proved by actions.
Beautiful.
Right? So now, if we love each other, if we, as Sister Doris said, if we're promoting black on black love, this is the critical part. What actions are we going to take, and what actions are we going to demand that government take on our behalf? Not that they do us no favors, because it's our tax dollars.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. It's our money that's funding the government.
Yes,
So
sir.
we
Yes,
got,
sir.
let me just real quick, because I want to recap Brother Enoch.
Okay.
Brother Enoch said October 16th as a national holiday with no penalty for black people. And what was the other one, Brother Enoch?
Enforcement of the Black History Bill.
Enforcement of the Black History Bill that's been on the books since the 70s.
Wow.
But I'm an educator, you are. It's been on the books since the 70s,
Wow.
but hasn't been enforced since the 70s.
Wow.
So what are we talking about? We got two. Sister Doris.
You know, under the system of racism and white supremacy, black people have been taught not to represent each other and do for each other. And our politicians are a prime example of that. So what we've done here, we put together a contract for Black Chicago 2023.
Come on now.
And we have,
Right.
I went a few weeks ago with the help of Sister Jessica, and I testified before 5 committees down there.
Come on.
And we're saying to them, we want this introduced as an ordinance.
Yes.
And we want it passed. We don't want it in committee. We don't want a study. We don't want a commission, because you didn't do any of this to give all this money to the immigrants.
That's right. That's
now,
right.
this contract involves every city department, the Chicago public school system, the fire department, the police department. I am a former teacher and counsel with the Chicago Public Schools. I know for a fact that they're not teaching Black history. Chicago Public Schools is a $9.4 billion industry.
Wow.
We used to have 45% Black teachers in this system. No more. We're down to 21%, and it may be less than now. So what we did, what Sister Erica and I did, we researched every one of these departments. I have here the budget for every department.
Wow.
I have the percentage of Blacks in each one of these departments. Some of them I haven't been able to find, but I'm still looking for it. So we're saying if we're 29% of the population, we want 29% of these jobs.
Come on, sis.
And you can do this. You can help by calling these sorry Black politicians here in Chicago.
Yes, ma'am.
Every last one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
We have 20 Black aldermen down there. There is no way we should be in the condition that we're in Chicago. In the state, Chicago is Democratic, the whole state. Every Black person in this city or state are second in charge or first in charge. So why is our community looking the way they're looking? Because the Black politicians are down there on everybody's agenda but a Black agenda.
Come on.
So this is the Black contract with Black Chicago 2023.
Wow.
We're saying that you are going to get it passed.
Wow.
And if you don't get it passed, we're coming after those seats.
Wow.
That's right. Say it
We're
again.
coming after those seats. We can no longer continue to put Black politicians in because they have our skin color. They must be on a Black agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
And if they're not on a Black agenda, we're going after them.
That's right. It's time for a Black agenda. Let me hear you say Black agenda.
Black agenda.
Black agenda.
Black agenda.
That's right.
And it's put together. Look at the hands and the minds, family, that put the contract. The work is done.
Right.
That's right.
So now I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to make a suggestion to all of my viewers, because this same panel that you see here is coming to a city near you.
That's right.
And what we want you to do right now, don't wait till we get there, start now, in your city, all the ones that we just shouted out. We want you to do the same thing that Sister Doris Lewis has done. We want you to do the same thing in your city.
Come on now.
So that we can present in each city
That's good.
a Black agenda.
Come
We
on.
already have the format. You don't have to come up with the format.
That's right.
We got the format. All you have to do is get the statistics that go into the outline.
That's good.
And we're able to put that agenda right before these
That's
Black
good.
politicians and see, do they really care about the community that
And
they
y'all
serve?
put your hands together. Y'all, the work is done. We just got to push it, continue to highlight it, and keep boots on the ground. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
sir.
So what we want to do, just a reminder, text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. You're going to get the first episode of the B1 movie when you text BLK to 1-844-242-2299, and we want to stay engaged with you. Now, I'll say this. Many of you, all of you in this room know this, but many of you online may not know. I've been fighting Chicago public schools for the last year because they saw the work that I've been doing with young black children for 29 years. All of my adult life has been dedicated to black children in the city of Chicago.
Put your hands together for that family.
All
This is the
praises.
real lean on me, right
That's
before
right.
your eyes. The real lean on me principal, who I've had the privilege of interviewing a number of times.
That's right. But I want to say this because in my fight, I met a firefighter on the west side of Chicago. And the black principals were there, and the firefighter said that there's already a law in Chicago on the books because you got 30% white in Chicago, 30% Latino, and 30% black. And the law says that 30% of the jobs in the fire department are to go to black firefighters. And right now, this is what the brother is telling me. Right now, it's only 7%.
No way.
7%.
7%.
The black firefighters went to Lori Lightfoot to get her to follow what was already on the books.
Come on, Brother Abdul.
And Lori Lightfoot, a black politician in name, did not enforce what was already on the books. So the 23% that is missing, the black politician can make that happen, but if there's no pressure from the community, then it's not going to happen.
And did our sister say it's 20? Did she say it's 20 black aldermen?
20.
Y'all hear that? She said it's 20 black aldermen. This is more action work we can do, family. Find out who they are and making our way down there. Yes, family?
20 out of 50. So the Black Caucus, 20 out of 50, they have the majority in the city of Chicago.
Y'all hear that?
So now
That's almost half.
That's almost half.
Yeah.
Listen, because we're on the black agenda, the most critical part.
The most critical
Brother
part.
Enoch gave us 2 points. He's here somewhere. Recognizing October 16th and making sure our children who are in these schools are taught black history. That's 1 and 2. Sister Doris Lewis came with a black contract with Black Chicago that we're going to model for every city. We have the script already. Where we can present this to a black politician and say, we need X number of black teachers. We need X number of black firefighters. We need X number of black police officers based on this contract, or we're going to vote you out of office.
That's right.
I'm asking right now, because I got to go back to the online family. I know y'all saying a lot in the chat, but I'm trying to do 3 things at once.
Yes.
Anybody else, the black agenda, this is the action. This is the love part, right?
That's
Introduce
right.
yourself, sister.
Hi, my name is Jackie Page, and I am actually a housing advocate. We were down there with Jessica and Doris and Erica, moving the needle.
Yes, ma'am.
When it came time to getting resources for our community. One of the things I think we need to do is put actions behind our words.
Yes, ma'am.
When they tried to keep us out of city council, we told them it was wrong, but one thing we didn't do was file paperwork. I filed paperwork, and just so happened that I got in touch with the deputy of the state's attorney's office.
Wow.
And the deputy of the state's attorney's office personally handled that request. And it was the deputy of the state's attorney's office who went to the city council and told them, now you can either change this or we're going to prosecute.
Be in violation of the law. I see.
So
y'all put
they
your hands together for our
changed.
sister, please.
What I'm saying is, what does it look like when they don't do it?
Yes, sir.
Because it's a lot of them that aren't doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot of them that are voting the way that we told them not
to vote.
And then they come back to us and then they give us a booty shake and a rump shake and all this other kind of entertainment with no platform.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to be willing and ready to put actions behind our words, even if they look like us.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. Just because they look like us, they don't get a pass.
That's right.
They don't get a legacy into a seat.
Come on
just
now.
because your daddy had it.
Yes.
We have to hold our politicians accountable. And if it means going and doing something different,
yes,
we got to be ready.
Y'all put your hands together for our sister, please. And really quick, I want to say this, because we're moving along. We got just a few more minutes left, but we all not just want to say this as another part of the blueprint. Y'all know that Chicago has been demanding reparations in addition to a whole lot of other stuff. Y'all see all these different moving parts that Chicago, your Black Chicago brothers and sisters are working on. We've been demanding reparations here. We know that they've done what? Got a 500, I covered this, I think, some months ago, a month or two ago, whatever this was. Is it about $500,000 that they got going for a reparation study? Once again, once another study, y'all. But in case somebody was asking about reparations, which I didn't see that yet, but I wanted you all to know that this is what they're playing with right now. But I wanted to say this really quick as another example from this attorney's Twitter page, X page, Attorney Moore, Camilla Moore. History is being made in real time. This says California reparations bill that will create a state reparations agency and fund along with land restitution have passed out of the Assembly Appropriations Committee and are now headed to the Assembly floor for a full vote. I'm going to retweet this at Dillard Vicki. So if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to see that retweet. So shout out to California. This is boots on the ground. It's a state by state thing. We know what's going on in Chicago, which is why I wanted you all to know that we know they playing here in Chicago, but this might be another, once again, a blueprint for us to follow. I'm going to retweet this. Again, this is from Camilla, Attorney Camilla, Kamillah. You can follow her on X. Camilla Moore, Moore, Esquire. And she is retweeting also the California Black Media, where this particular California reparations, SB 1403, SB 1050, and SB 1331, all authored, it says, by Senator Stephen Bradford, a Democrat, passes out of the Assembly Appropriations Committee on their way to the Assembly floor for a full vote, 8/15/2024. Just wanted to update everybody on that.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
All right.
Sister, did you have? Please say your name. Say your name.
My name is Natasha Neptune, and I just don't want us to lose sight of the fact that we have to get involved with legislative policy. A lot of us, and I had to learn the hard way with Illinois, we have to be right there writing our own policy.
Come on now.
And they don't expect to see us because a lot of us don't read.
Right.
But we have to pay attention to these laws that they're passing and making sure that our voices and our needs are front and center.
Beautiful.
So I just don't want it to lose sight of that.
That's very important.
Awesome.
Very important.
That's 100% correct. Thank you for that, my sister. Sister Carmela, did you have something that you wanted?
Okay. Well, I find it very difficult to really rely on anybody's system at these days, you know. But for me, action and unity amongst my community as a Muslim is what get me by, you know, get me through. Because I don't rely on the politicians.
Come on.
I can vote for Kamala, I could vote for Trump, whoever. They're not going to do anything for me.
Yeah.
They're not going to put no money in behind Black businesses.
Yeah.
And, you know, even when Trump came out and put money in businesses, majority of that money did not come in our community.
Come
you know,
on.
so through our unity, if we just unite, we can make action. We can move even further. But we just so disunified, you know, so just some unity.
Well,
excellent points.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you for that. So all my B1 family that's in the chat, the word that Sister Carmela just shared is that we have to be united. The Koreans, the Asians, the Jewish people, the Arabs, or my sister, I think she stepped out, but we call them, in Chicago, we call them Arabs.
Right.
The Arabs, they're not waiting for Trump or Kamala to get in office.
Right.
They're uniting in their community.
That's right.
And showing love to one another in their community. They're giving themselves the love that is needed. So no matter who's in office, they're going to thrive. They're going to benefit. And what we're trying to do is the same exact thing. You loving yourself because you Black don't mean you hate nobody.
That's right.
It just means that you love you, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's
and we're not
right.
apologizing for loving Black people.
That's right.
So I want to say this real quick to the online family as well as the family here. We talk about, this is to Sister Doris Lewis's point. We talk about gentrification and moving Blacks out, and this is in your city. If we can't get jobs to afford to live in the city, because we can't be firefighters, they're moving them out. We can't be teachers, they're moving them out.
Wow.
We can't be principals, they're moving them out. We can't work for the water department, they're moving them out. We can't work for the police department, they're moving them out. And they're giving those jobs to whites and Latinos and pushing Black people out. Gentrification is not just building up the neighborhood. Gentrification is having a plan to remove black people from high-paying jobs so they cannot afford to live in the city.
Come on.
So this is the fight, right?
That's good.
So
brother.
now, we want anyone else, because I got to look on to see if anybody online, but is there anyone else here that had a comment on that? It was the same question. Because right now, we need to talk about what does this agenda look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the agenda is, as Brother Enoch says, our children have to have the knowledge of who they are. That has to happen in the schools that we paying for, right?
That's right.
We have to recognize as a people our connection to God, however you frame it, because this is where we always get divided. However you frame it, if you say the ancestors, if you say God, if you say Jesus, if you say Yahweh,
come on.
Our connection to a source and something that is greater than us as an individual.
Yes.
We have to have that. And then we have to have a agenda, a black contract for every major city that Sister Doris broke down. We need all of that. And as Sister Carmela said, it starts with all of you that's in the chat with the family. We have to be united. Is there anybody else that wants to comment on that before we move? We're talking about a black agenda.
Yes.
And what we need in our community and what we're going to demand in our community. And my sister right here, and this is so important, brothers and sisters, this is the part that we leave out. Tell me your name again. Sister Natasha Neptune. The part that we leave out is we need to have policy makers.
Yeah.
Let me give you a point. When, what's our sister's name who did the reparations in Chicago? Alderwoman Dorothy Tillman. When Alderwoman Dorothy Tillman wrote that reparations bill in Chicago, she wanted to make it so tight that the banks could not escape. And she made it tight, but she said there was one little loophole. One small loophole that they were able to use to escape.
Wow.
And, she did a great job, but she did bear witness. But it just goes back to Sister Natasha's point. We need those policymakers
yes, sir.
On our team, black policymakers to help us write laws that benefit our community.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? What do we need? What is this agenda?
Peace again, family.
Peace.
So this is something that I've been working on as well. This is concerning the alternative lifestyle curriculum that's going on in the public school system. This is a direct attack on our children.
Come on.
Satan is after our children's soul. They're after our children's mind. Instead of teaching them the ABCs, they're teaching them the GABCs. And before anyone gets upset with me, this is not an attack on the homosexual community. No, it's not. But we have some radical homosexuals, and that cult is called LGBTQZY and all the pronouns. And they are pushing their lifestyles on our children. They're teaching them about anal sex in the schools, oral sex, cross-dressing, abortion. Our children should not be learning these types of things in the school.
Right.
And most of the parents do not know that this is going on. See, that's the sad part. And the way that they have it set up is that you have to opt out. If you don't know that it's going on, how would you know to opt out?
Wow.
You understand? And even if you did opt out, your child is still in that classroom getting exposed to this demonic curriculum. So what I want to say to all of us is, if you have a child in the public school system, make it your business to go up there and find out what is being taught in the schools. So just to give you an idea, this is what they're teaching our children in the school. This is what they're teaching. They are promoting child porn in the schools.
Wow.
If any gentleman in here had this in their work desk at work, and one of your co-workers found it, they would come to arrest you.
Right.
They would come to arrest you.
Facts.
So my whole thing is, once again, let's go find out what they're teaching our children and say, no, we will not go.
Come on.
Wow.
Thank you, sister.
Very important.
And
very important.
I'm looking at the chat, and I have a sister in the chat. I don't see your name, but I saw your comment. And the thing that you said as our sister was talking is we need to homeschool our children. So brothers and sisters, today we live in a different age where the public school is not the only option for your black child and the mind of your black child. Right now, you have schools, independent black schools all over the country.
Yeah.
You have them here in Chicago with Muhammad University of Islam and others, right? But then you also have black parents who are homeschooling their children.
Right.
And in your city right now, as we have in Chicago, I have a dear friend of mine, Sister Africa, who I've known for 20 years. And we homeschooled our children together. And there are black homeschool networks all over the country that you can join so that your black child, you don't have to give your black child's mind over to a system that don't love black people.
Wow.
So you have different options, but you have to explore those options right in your city. So we're talking about our black agenda. We're talking about making sure that in every city, black people have the requisite number of jobs that our population demands that every other race and every other ethnic group is getting. We're talking about educating black children through independent schools, homeschool networks. We're talking about recognizing our connection to a spiritual source.
Yes.
And I know I'm leaving somebody's out. And we're talking about making sure that we have policymakers that can write laws that don't harm us, but benefit us.
Yes.
And the crooked deceiver can't escape through a loophole that's left in the law. These are the things that are being, that are a part of the black agenda. And before we move on, I got to keep saying this because we want to give you this information. Text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. And in everybody that texts that, we're going to make sure you get the B1 documentary episode 1. And then we want to also get you all in the cities, the template that Sister Doris Lewis put together so you can have your contract for your city to present to your black politicians.
Yes,
this is the progress, and this is only the first meeting.
That's right.
And this is the progress that we're making in the first meeting.
Put your hands together for that, family. Put your hands together.
And let me say this, because I know at a certain point we're gonna have to wrap this thing up, right? We're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yes.
My brother Enoch has some things that he wants to say. I'm gonna read some of the comments from the online family, and then we're gonna go back to the panel for any closing remarks, any questions. If y'all have any questions for them, we'll wrap it up with that, and then we'll do closing remarks. And my brother, if you want to have any closing remarks as well.
Sisters, I wanted to make sure that I didn't see it yet in here, but it may be included in this document. A few years ago in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, we had a governor who defunded all the mental health institutions that was in black neighborhoods. And so now, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest mental health provider is in Cook County Jail, correct? And so they send a lot of the money to Cook County Jail, so you can't get a lot of mental health services that you should get unless you go to Cook County Jail to get it. And so we need to have that money to come out of Cook County Jail to come back into the neighborhoods that need it. And then there has to be more severe penalties when it comes to fentanyl and a lot of the psychotropic drugs that are just filling. I mean, it's all over the country, but here in Chicago, we're seeing so many of our youth who get caught up. They thinking they about to smoke some Reggie, smoke some Loud, and they smoking something that's a cocktail, and they wind up really going on a severe trip, and they don't come back a lot of times from that trip because Hartgrove Hospital or whatever hospital they send them to, they're not adequate to deal with these kind of issues. So, you know, it's beyond just the opioid pandemic or crisis. This is across the board. There's an attack on our people when it comes to these psychotropic drugs. And lastly, there has to be a more severe penalty for those who are selling these switches. And if y'all don't know what switches are, we're talking about weapons where you can put an adapter to that weapon and make it not just automatic, you can pop off 100. And so a lot of the people who work for funeral homes, they're witnessing people coming into the funeral home and they have 50 holes in the same spot because somebody unloaded on them, and there's 50 shots in the same area because they have adapter or what they call switches on these weapons. And so we know that drugs come on trucks and trains and boats and planes, and the brother on a canoe on the block. So we know that those who are doing this, there has to become a time where we can enact some more severe penalties on those who are doing it, because we told people years ago that there's no penalty for those who come into the city of Chicago bringing this stuff in, but you want to penalize the person who doing the retail sale on the block. But there's nobody putting some real penalties on those who come wholesale with it, with tons of drugs and tons of guns. So I just want to make sure we add that to the conversation.
Beautiful. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Real quick, to my online family, Sister Queen of Swords, you said where are the homeschool programs, please? So in your city, search online for Black homeschool co-ops in your city. One may lead you to another one, but there are Black people right now in every major city that have homeschool co-ops. There may be some online co-ops. So part of your day can be online and part of it could be with the co-op. Technology has brought those barriers down. So I'm trying to read a few of these comments.
Yes, sir.
From our family online.
And family, again, don't forget to text that number because we're already planning for approximately November 4th to be back here physically in Chicago. Again, today was just sowing a seed impromptu, so we do not want you to miss it. So go ahead and start to mark your calendars. And brother, tell them why you playing that day.
That's the day before the election.
Say it again.
So that will be episode number 6. We're doing a 6-part series. Number 1 started here in Chicago.
Come on
today,
now.
August 18th. And we're going to end here in Chicago, November the 4th, the day before the presidential election. But in between those dates, we're going to have virtual podcasts, B1 podcasts.
And that's another reason they need to what?
Yeah, that's why you got to text the number. You got to text BLK.
There you go.
To that 1-800 number, 1-844-242-22.
And it's on the screen right now as we're talking.
Absolutely.
Yes, so go ahead, beloved.
And the last one I'm gonna read from the online before we go to closing comments from our panel.
Okay.
Brother Daniel Jules says we need more Black police officers in our neighborhood. Again, my brother, this goes back to what Sister Doris Lewis said. What is happening right now is they're systematically removing Black police officers, Black firefighters, Black teachers from these jobs, but they're using your tax money to pay people who hate you to shoot you in the face,
Come
right?
on
Like
now.
our sister
Facts.
Sonia Massey. So we have to, the way we change that is power concedes nothing without a demand. We take the contract with Black, whatever city you in, Black, whatever city, fill in the blank, and we put the information in and we make a demand on Black politicians to give us our fair share that everybody else is getting. We're not asking, we're not begging. Why?
Come on.
It is our tax dollars.
Come
This
on
is
now.
our money. It's not their money.
Come on
That's
now,
right.
put your hands together.
What we're gonna close with that. I wanted to bring in the online family, and we want to go to closing remarks.
Yes, sir.
So my brother, I know you want to talk real quick. Just share a few closing remarks. Because we have to buy land and we have to buy precious metals.
Come on.
My sister who just left, I'm gonna remind you, in your city, you can get a plot of land for $1 in a lot of major cities. The internet is your friend.
Yes.
Look it up right now. You can get plots of land right now. Hereafter Farms. Google, look up Hereafter Farms. Brother Farrakhan Muhammad, you can get a plot of land through Hereafter Farms. You can start your own land co-op.
Wow, powerful.
Then you want to invest in precious metals. My brother's going to share a few closing remarks, and then our panel is going to share some closing remarks, and then we're going to wrap this great session up.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And we want you to text the number because we want you to get that episode, but we also want you to get the template for the contract that we're going to have in every major city.
That's right.
Thank you, my brother. Very important part. One thing I want to say to everyone is that I don't want this situation with reparations to go unspoken about because it's critical. I don't want them to kill us with experience. Here's what they're going to do. Why are they giving us, why is the reparations on the overall ballot now? Because all of the countries in the world are dropping the US dollar. So the federal government does not want to hold the dollar because it's debt. They only hold assets. So what they want to do, they want to filter that cash, that currency, that worthless cotton back to you. You don't want reparations in dollars. It's worthless. You want reparations in assets. We demand silver, gold, land. Demand the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. The dollar is the letter of the law. You want God's spirit. So you can follow us. And I want to just say this to the nation. I teach my clients how to get free silver and gold, not to pay for it. I am willing to teach the nation. You pick who it is in the nation. I will give that class to them for free.
Wow.
And they will learn how to get free silver and gold that they don't have to pay for.
Powerful.
www.prosperitymint.com.
Before we go, Sister Vicki, we got one more brother that wants to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Wow. I'm Brother Reginald Muhammad from Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right now.
I flew in to support our brother Mustafa Farrakhan
Yes, sir.
and the Farrakhan family because his dear wife transitioned.
Yes, yes.
And so I came over to eat, and I came into an involvement that it really, really excited me. But I'm here because of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan
Yes.
and the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, yes, sir.
So in saying that, the Black agenda, what came out of the Million Man March was the national agenda.
That's what he talked
So
about.
my advice is to study that national agenda
He talked about that.
and the economic blueprint that the minister presented to the world. That national agenda is a start with all of your inquiries to be successful. So lastly, the minister, here's the solution to our Black agenda. We just need to separate.
Period. Okay.
Separate. I grew up in a community where it was all Black. Black hospital, Black grocery store, Black cleaners, Black school. I never went to a white school until I was like in the 7th or 8th grade. So we must separate. And look, you have to follow the Nation of Islam because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the last man standing. Come on.
You love the man.
So separation
I love the man.
and economic development and supporting Black business. But look, and I'm gonna close with this. The minister say we have to take much from our people. We do.
Yeah.
We gotta love them unconditional when they do us wrong. Let Allah, God, take care of the chastisement. But look, spend money in the Black community because when the Jews and the white folks spend their money, it goes around 3 times before it go out, if it ever go out. So thank you for having me. And I enjoyed coming into this event.
We glad to have you, my brother. We glad to have you.
In North Carolina, I mean, good God, wait till I go back and tell the brothers. So, assalamu alaikum, Brother Abdul. May Allah continue to bless you, brother, and be strong. Thank you.
And when I was in North Carolina, brother took great care of me, so give him a hand.
Yes. Some of my feedback was, Vicki, you better get to North Carolina.
So now let me say this. I'm reading a few comments in the chat. We're going to just clear the air real quick. My brother mentioned the word separation. Some of you all had a question about that. Brothers and sisters, if we're honest, right, we're already separate.
Right.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Louis Farrakhan are not telling you to do. We're already separate. I'm on the south side of Chicago with all the Black folks. I go to the west side with all the Black folks. We're already separate in every major city. That's a fact.
Right.
What we're saying is we want to be separate with something as opposed to being separate with nothing. Okay, so let's not get twisted because we already separate. We want to go to our last final comments from our wonderful, beautiful panel. Y'all give Sister Gail a hand
so
before
much,
she leaves up out of here.
Thank you for coming. And thank you for your comment. Mom, you're beautiful.
And she got to greet Sister Gail. So while she's greeting Sister Gail, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and address the hater that's in the comments, because you always have one. So we had a hater in the comment that asked the question, what happened to the money at the Million Man March? I think you work for the FBI, but I'm going to answer your question. Of all the marches that have ever happened in the history of the United States of America, you can go Google how many it's been. They have marches all the time. Of all the marches in the history of the United States, there's only one march that produced an audit at the end of that march. And the march was the Million Man March. Why did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan do an audit that you, the hater, the FBI agent, can look up right now? The audit is still on the internet. You can get the audit and see where every dollar from the Million Man March went. It is because in the 1960s during COINTELPRO, the FBI researched Black America, and they found that the quickest way to turn Black people against their leaders is to say that they've been doing something with the money. So if you go back in your Black mind and every Black leader that they removed, what did they say? They were mishandling money. They said, well, if he has a girlfriend, you know, Black people, this is what the FBI said, Black folks don't care about that because Black people are immoral. That's what the FBI said. They said the quickest way to turn Black people against their leaders is to say that they're doing something with the money. Right. So every time we bring up the Million Man March, there's always a federal agent in the chat, in the comments, asking the question, what happened to the money when the audit has been on the internet for the last 30 years, and you can see where every penny from the Million Man March went. Okay, so I had to just say that real quick. We had a little time. You know, we have no love for the FBI in this room. I'm sorry. They spent their resources to destroy our community, but we want to go with the closing comments because this is about action and this is about love. And we got our sister here, and we're going to go to our closing comments. I think we made a lot of progress today. We have a direction that we're going into. We have a model, a plan, a template that we can take to the other cities so they can make demands in their cities that we're going to make right here in Chicago. And I got to say this, because when I won the Teacher of the Year award, listen to what Mayor Daley said to me, to my face. I was sitting right next to him in his office. I won the Teacher of the Year. He brought me to his office, and he said that he spends $4 billion a year. It was $4 billion then, it's $10 billion now. He said, I spend $4 billion a year on education, and the children can't even read.
Come on.
Here we are in 2024, they spending $10 billion, and they still can't read. What are we talking about? And the money is not going to Black people. That's our money. It should be going in our community. These are our children.
Yes, sir.
So, Sister Vicki, we want to go to some closing comments for today.
The audit is in the chat.
Okay, and for the federal agent, the audit is in the chat. So you can get the Million Man March audit. Because we're only dealing with actual facts from here on out.
Actual facts.
Just
here. Exactly.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Did you need to say something else?
My brother just wanted me to, because I was at the Million Man March. You were too. We were on the stage together, if you remember, right? And you were too, right? But the Million Man March was financed by the grassroots.
Come on now.
It was not financed by corporations. I'm going to say it again. This is the Million Man March was financed by the Black grassroots. This sister right here, Sister Doris Lewis, helped to organize the men in Chicago with Sister Zakiya to go to the Million Man March. It was financed by Black people for Black people. There was no corporate financing for the Million Man March. We just letting y'all know.
They not ready. They
Right.
ready.
So now we got to wrap it up. We got to wrap it up.
They ain't ready.
Oh, yeah.
bro.
Sister, y'all ready? Let's go to these closing
They ain't
comments.
ready. That was equally as important as everything else because it had to do with the actual manifestation that didn't just shape all of the United States of America and families where weren't they adopting more children after that?
Absolutely.
Y'all help me, give me the, y'all help the folks to understand what was really going on.
Brothers and sisters, because I've done the research.
Yes.
The highest murder rate in Chicago was well, there was two. One was 1974 with 979 homicides right here in Chicago.
Y'all listen.
And then the other highest, the second highest, was 1994 with over 900 homicides. When the murder and violent crime across America was at its height, and they were calling black men, our generation that's in this room, they were calling us the super predator, Hillary Clinton and the whole gang.
Hillary Clinton.
Our generation, the ones that we're looking at in this room, we were the super predator.
Yeah.
That they needed to bring to heel that, what's his name? Joe Biden went on the Senate floor and said, we don't care how they got like this.
Right.
We don't, because we don't want them to kill our mamas and we don't want them to kill our daughters. We don't give a damn how they got like this. We got to lock them up and throw away the key. That's Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton.
Joe Biden.
That's us that they were talking about.
Right.
And when the crime was at its highest, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan held the Million Man March. Because you have fools, pardon me, you have misguided brothers and sisters who say the Million Man March didn't accomplish anything. That's a lie.
Come on.
If you, and all we dealing with is facts. If you go and pull up the violent crime, not just homicides, but violent crime, from 95 to today, violent crime in every major city has gone down. We talking about facts only.
Facts only.
Brother Warren, bring me my briefcase real quick. It's right there next to you. We talking about facts only.
Facts. And why I want him to end it with these facts. I gotta say this, family, because I gotta tap out for personal reasons. I got to. But I want to first of all say thank you.
Thank you, sister.
To every one of you, family. Y'all know how fast we organize this with the quickness. I want Brother Warren. Y'all, let's just please give my brother.
We couldn't have had today without Brother Warren. He's behind the camera. It wouldn't have happened without him. It would not have happened.
Come on, everybody. Take my word for it.
Yeah, we couldn't have had today without him.
This brother has had my back for a long time.
Come on, that's right.
And just like he's behind the scenes now, that's how he's been for your sister with the curly braids. Are y'all hearing me?
Right.
When I was attacked online by multiple people, some you know, some you don't know, individuals and entities or organizations. This brother has had my back. Talk black to me, somebody. He has been instrumental in promoting my work now. And so when I mentioned my dear brother here, I was privileged to be in his documentary. Family, when we were talking about doing this podcast, I said, wouldn't it be something we could just get to Chicago like live? This man got on the ground, did he not?
Immediately.
Immediately. And we're here today. That's why I told you today was just what? A seed. So mark your calendars, right? For November 4th. I had to thank him for that. But I wanted to just quickly say this. Don't forget when our brother was talking about the numbers, and when I walk out, I want you to tell him about this too. Who was the dope busters?
Come on, that's right.
Can somebody tell me who was the dope busters? I need you to tell them that when I walk out.
Okay.
Who were the ones that were policing their own community? They were so effective that your U.S. government, a congressman, was the one that messed with the black men's money. Did they not? To stop them from individually doing this full time with resources.
Right.
That was here in Chicago too, was it not? I want y'all to, we looking at a live, real, lean on me principle. Our brother Abdul, the one that moderated this entire event. They tried to fire our brother, get him out. We got some other stuff that's coming up soon, but I want you all to know this is a real thing. Look at our sisters that's over here that wrote the ordinance, a blueprint for us to follow, y'all.
That's right.
And I'll do my little part online. We're looking at a media giant right here. How many of y'all know what happens with black documentaries when they were able to go all over the country and around the world, that you're helping us to be a counter voice to the voice of the oppressive class? Yes?
Oh, yeah.
In all matters, all of your contributions here. And our brother talking to us about minerals, coin and gold and silver. Right. That gives us the alternative, family, to this notion of all we got is just voting. They want us to think that that's right. All it is to it. And he's giving us the real deal, talking to us about the Constitution. I love y'all so much, family.
We love you too,
I gotta run. I'm gonna see you soon. Yes. Shout out to my family, my team at VickiDillard.tv, VickiPlanet.com. Shout out to this man right here that helped to make it happen with the major concept of the B1 podcast. I can't wait to see y'all again. I love you so much. Y'all take it and end it for us, okay?
Y'all give it up for Vicki Dillard.
Give her a hand. Give her a hand, Sister Vicki Dillard.
This has been awesome, man. This has been a powerful experienced a powerful conversation, and I'm full. Again, my name is Dr. Rick Mathis, filmmaker from the west side of Atlanta, GA. You know what I'm saying? For my bougie people, that's Cascade Road. For my educated gangsters, that's Adamsville. And for my freedom fighters, that's West End.
Come on.
I love you. I thank you. This has been great. We out, people. We love you. Text BLK to 1-844-242-2299. Love you. Good night.